All right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. I think this is our fourth or fifth product webinar, so things are moving along really quickly, and it's been phenomenal. The attendance has slowly increased. I think we're set for like 170 people today, so it's looking good. We have Megan Britt on the call with me today. Some of you may know her, but Megan is a solutions consultant. She is very involved with a lot of our prospects and our sales team. She's a great demo person. So we've got her on the call today just to walk through some use cases to give us a bit of a look into the app. You will get an email as per usual with a link to download the deck after the call or after the webinar. A recording is going to be available. As always, please put your questions in the chat box. It is there. We're always kind of keeping an eye on things, so make sure you put that in there as you go. And then we're going to send a little survey after the webinar as well, just to hear your thoughts, if there's anything else that you wanted to see, or if there was anything. You got 90 people in so far, so looking good. But we're going to run through a recap of recent updates. It's a pretty exciting day today. We have actually launched a handful of features. We're launching it today, so I'll touch more on it in a little bit, but you will see some new updates in the app. Feature Spotlight, we are going to be walking through Athennian AI centralized, so a little demo of how it works, the benefits you can see. And then we have a very exciting announcement. We have never done this before. We are going to open up a draw. You can enter in your name and your email to win one of 5 spots for a 350 token credit to Athennian AI. So you will get the feature. It will be turned on for you. You'll have 350 credits to use as a team, and you'll have about 1 month in terms of validation to use that feature. That kind of comes to about 350 documents. So you will see a QR code come up in the demo. Feel free to scan it, put all your information in, and then we'll announce the 5 winners on Friday. So we've never done that before. It's free. We're very excited. It's a great feature. And once you have it activated, anyone on your team can use it. The email can be used. So if you're curious about how to use that, get in touch with your CSM too, and we'll be walking through step by step today as well. So hope everyone's excited. Quick event overview. We have had a bunch of recent conferences. We just wanted to give a little highlight. A couple of our clients were there as well. We were at the CLOC in Vegas, and we were also at the PEI Regulatory Forum in Washington. It was phenomenal. We got a lot of touch points. Many people were interested. We had a lot of product tours, so it was great seeing your faces. If you were there, thank you for joining and thank you for getting in touch with us. We have one upcoming conference that's coming up. It's the 2024 Society's National Conference up in Washington. Our team will be there, so if you are interested in connecting with us, or you do want to get in touch, we'll send out more details. We have a newsletter that goes out, so look out for us as well. We'd love to see you meet up for drinks, food, or just a chat if you guys are present. Okay, so getting started. We'll kick off with recent updates. These are live today. We are very excited. So as a little theme overview, we've been focused on 3 key values this past month, namely tailored access. So you'll kind of see that roll through with today's updates. Automation, this is very testament to Athennian AI and the centralization piece of your data, and data accuracy. So those were kind of the 3 highlights that we really wanted to work on, and that the features that you will see today represent and echo throughout the application. All right, first one, it is finally live. We have been hearing about this feature for a long time, but today, if you are on Professional or Enterprise 2024 packages, this feature is available for you to use. So it's custom roles, section level permissions. What it is high level, basically, and I know we've kind of done a couple of demos in the past on this, you are now able to lock down sections of an entity for specific roles. So you can come to our team and say, hey, I have a tax team. They typically work on annual returns, or they typically work with very key sets of information. They really don't need to see the security section. They don't need to see the documents section. Maybe they only need to see the general section in the minute book. We can lock down those sections within the app for you as a team. So when you add them to Athennian, you just apply that role to them, and boom, that is all they see and can access. So making it very efficient when you're looking at the information in Athennian. We know that a lot of people don't sign in every day. So if you do sign in, a couple of times a year, it can be a lot to look at if you're not used to using the application. This helps streamline that. So Why? It's to support company growth. Again, it really targets those key teams. It also helps our law firms with attorneys, clients, that kind of thing, who really want a bit more streamlined access to an entity, but a bit more than just the minute book. And these roles, you can extend them to whatever kind of user level you're looking for. So if it's a user level role and the person is supposed to edit information, but again, you only want them to see certain sections, it applies in that case. And if you want them to only read the information available in Athenian, but also read a limited amount, same concept. Meg, I know you're here. I'm
Yes,
curious with kind of your conversations with clients and stuff. What do you think this is going to bring in terms of value for them?
I think it's going to be a really fantastic value add. I mean, we get questions all across the board about, well, let's say that I have a client who I want them to be the one to come into the tool and update their PII, but I don't want them to be able to update anything else. I want them to be able to see their information. You can now give them that level of access where they can come in and edit their own PII information. That way, your team, your paralegals, your staff don't have to worry about managing that yourselves.
Yeah.
Um, Alternatively, tax teams who may need to be able to come in and edit tax specific information, but only view other things. But
Yeah.
it really helps you to be able to set up different, really specific use cases and environments for the different groups of people that are going to be accessing the Athenian tool.
Yeah, exactly. No, we love it. And also, I guess kind of pieces to that too is we don't charge based on users. So keep that in mind. Athenian is open for your entire team, and we're trying to make it as easy and efficient for those users to get into the application. Now we have a couple of questions, and thank you, Meg, for the examples.
Mhm.
But Susan is asking, can the minute book or a folder in the minute book be locked down? Susan, I have a very great answer for you. In this instance, we can lock down sections, but coming very, very soon, next week on the 25th, which I'll jump into. There's a little spoiler alert. We are also going to be launching Minutebook Secure Share. So in this instance, it's the other side of the spectrum where if you have a folder that you want to share with one person externally in the Minutebook or one document and you want to set limitations to that access, that is coming and it will be available on all plans. So sit tight, it's coming in like 3 slides, and we'll run through that and that will help with that use case. And then Natalie has asked, is this role, or is this also available for read-only user roles? Yes, absolutely, Natalie. So this applies right now to sections in entities. I want to make that very clear. It has not been extended to other sections just yet. It is the entity section specifically, and you can customize the role level. So in this example here, you'll see I've got that create new role. This is what Athenian will manage for you. So we set everything up. You just ask the CSM, you get in touch, and they will make sure everything is set up so that when you hit that drop down button, you have that role available. And it would be read-only user or user level access or admin access. But again, you can kind of tweak that to be specific to the sections you've locked down. Tim Walsh has said we have the same need to secure confidential documents in a folder in the minute book. Yes, 100%. And we know this need exists. So with the kind of concept of sharing and then with this limited access, Tim, there should be a blend of roles that we can make work for you and your team. So for example, let's say you created an entity that had all these confidential documents. You can lock that entity completely, or you can lock all those documents with a specific user role to that entity as well. So work with your CSM. There is definitely a way we can solve that exact use case. I know you guys have very key documents, but with a combination of the two features, I'm sure we can find you a really good kind of sweet spot. All right, next. This is very, very helpful for a lot of our LLC and partnership managing clients. So cash and percentage ownership tracking is live today. When you go into an entity and you create a class, you have always only had the ability to add in either shares or units based on the entity type that that entity kind of pertains to. Today, we have expanded that to include cash classes and percentage classes. So what this does is it opens up up a world of opportunity for clients who may not have very accurate ownership information on hand to track. You may have kind of an overview of ownership, but no specific key details. And that's been very difficult with the current setup to add that in the application, get it added onto registers and ledgers, have it represent instructor charts accordingly. But with this, you can actually define exactly which data is represented in classes and on those transactions. So if you have cash capital, if you've got percentage ownership that needs to be allocated, you can now do that. And those transaction types will follow the allocated class type as well. So you would be issuing capital or percentages instead of shares and transactions, which is wonderful. This is available for all packages. So regardless of which one you are on, it will be there. We have changed the classes to just show up under securities. Your CSMs can walk you through that as well. So it just lives in securities now instead of governance. Nothing else has really changed outside of that, but you can expect to see that. So Meg, I know you work with a lot of US clients. Walk me through what this can open up in terms of opportunity for them and for data accuracy as well. I know that there's a lot to kind of touch on there, but in your experience, what do you think of this?
Yeah, I think especially when it comes to bringing clients on board, sometimes one of the hurdles is them saying, "Well, we are not convinced that we have the level of detail in our share transactions, like you were mentioning, and the level of detail in accuracy. I just have this chart that I look at. It tells me the percentage of ownership, and what can we do with that?" So I think this really opens us up to be able to go ahead and onboard those clients, get their information brought in as accurately as possible, and really help accommodate all the different types of ownership and what they need to see.
Yeah, totally. And also, as a little heads up, I know a couple of clients have kind of had a kind of slow introduction to this feature over the past week or two. And Leslie has actually just asked, will this update for those entities already in Athenian? There is something to keep in mind if you have existing workarounds for this, which in the past we have recommended you build. So let's say you have a way that you've been issuing shares that will represent this data to some degree, but is not completely accurate or is a workaround for this scenario. That will not change. Going forward, any new transactions can be added under these classes. So that begs the question of, well, what do I do with all this workaround data that's in the application? We will work with your CSMs as well. You can chat to them and see what works best for you and your team. We also have a services team. It depends on the amount of data, right? Like these are very edge case. There are clients that have a lot of this information where it's been worked around, or there are some that's just a couple of transactions that you can go in and change and apply the differences to. But please get in touch with your CSM. We are here to help as well. The product team is here to help as well. There are many different use cases that we'll need to kind of look at too, but the opportunity is there for everyone. So it would be kind of a one-on-one in terms of how we deal with any workarounds, what you would like to do as a team, but going forward, all of this can be tracked, which is wonderful. So nothing changes existing data. It just gives you that opportunity to make things even better in the application. So I hope that answers your question, Leslie. Definitely chat to your CSM. All right, next and last update you'll see today. This is great. You guys are going to love this. If in September of last year you were using Athennian, you would have noticed when we did a feature update that there was a little early access toggle up at the top right-hand screen. Now, when we make adjustments to the visual changes of Athennian, colors of things, the way text looks, update kind of the UI, UX of the application, that can sometimes be a little bit of a longer process in terms of getting used to the adjustments. What we have done today is when you toggle that early access toggle on or off, it's going to change what the people and dashboard sections look like. Very small changes, nothing huge. We're just trying to make our app easier to use, look more modern, more intuitive, more efficient to navigate, and just be a little easier on the eyes. So a couple of things have changed, just the way tags look. No information has moved in any way whatsoever. Everything is still exactly where it is. It is just a lot prettier to look at when you look at the dashboard and the people modals. So when you open the people section, the list still looks the same. When you go and create a new person, it's going to look a little different. It's very, very easy to navigate. It just looks super clean, super fresh. Our design team spent quite a long time working on this, making it look completely right. But toggle on or off. Any data that you add in stays as is, nothing changes, nothing gets removed. It just gives you that ability to kind of navigate and get used to the changes in your own time. And then in 2 weeks' time, we will be switching this on permanently. So you have a full 2 weeks to use it, get used to it, give us feedback, kind of get an understanding of how things look a little different. And then that toggle will disappear and the changes will be permanent. It's for every plan. So enjoy that. We think you're going to love it. Meg, I know you've been with us for a long time as well, and it's kind of nice seeing things update in terms of the visual side. Any comments? I know it's pretty clean and it's nice and it's simple to understand, but
Mhm.
I think it's going to make a big impact.
Yeah, I definitely do, and I'm thinking about the last layout that was more about reorganizing like what things went under folders. And I mean, I know for me, the second that that early access toggle came on, I had it flipped on and was using it. So I mean, I think that's one of the great things about Athenian is the how intuitive the tool is, and so I think that all of our kind of visual updates go to make that even more true.
Yeah, totally. And we'll be doing these updates more as we go. We are making a very, very big effort to improve the overall look and feel of the app. So you'll notice, you'll get used to it. That early access toggle will be there whenever something new releases. We'll let you know as well. But just trying to make it easier to navigate. All right, feature spotlight. So this is going to be great. Megan is going to demo Athenian AI. Now, I don't know how many of you have seen Athenian AI. Actually, I'm curious in the comments. Have you seen it? Are you interested in it? Yes, no, we're interested. Let me know. I'd be very curious if you haven't heard of it yet. Yeah, yeah, lots. Yes, 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 in exclamation marks. Great. I'm also curious, actually, why are you interested as well? It's going to help streamline information so much. Again, it takes a 4-minute workflow to 40 seconds, and that's tried and tested and true. It's also very efficient in terms of budget. I know a lot of firms with entity management tools, the annual pricing is very common. With this feature, it's our first ever feature where we're taking an approach that actually allows you to budget based on your usage. So it's like if you're a corporate and you foresee you're going to upload 1,000 documents, we give you the ability to say that's what our budget allows for. We've already made our decisions for the year. We've already signed whatever. We have a ability to add X amount. We're only going to use this much. And then that's all you use. So it doesn't have a base pricing, which is really nice. So also, if you are very excited, stay on because you can scan that QR code. You might be able to win one of the 5 free 350 credits. Your CSM will get in touch with you, will turn it on, and then you can kind of use that between your whole team for about a month. Get used to it, see how you feel. Do you like it? Give us feedback. So stay on for that. But let's dive into it. So Athenian AI Centralized, it's our first skill. It is going to automate the most critical entity management workflow. Now, I want to give a little caveat here. I know a lot of the entity management tools that you see today have kind of done a replica of ChatGPT, and that's wonderful. But we know as a team that if you do not have up-to-date information, which most often and very often you don't because transactions are always moving, if you query your database and you say, hey, could you please let me know the answer to X question, or what is, the most up-to-date document? You can't always trust that information that comes back to you because you don't know if Bob sitting in California has uploaded something else by the time that you go in and ask that question. So it does cause a bit of distrust in information, which is why, as a team, we wanted to wait for AI to kind of die down and have a look at what actually is needed in this space, right? Instead of just copying ChatGPT and building something along those lines, which everyone else is doing, we really wanted to solve a true problem. And that takes some time to kind of gauge what's happening in the industry and kind of look at things from that perspective. So with Centralize, we know that the biggest kind of workflow that your teams are always working on is getting information into the system. Documents, data, things are changing, transactions are happening, things are being signed. How can we streamline and create more efficiency with that one piece? And so we did a bunch of research and we're very excited about this skill and this tool because it really hits home in terms of automating that one main workflow. The return on revenue is evident. It does help streamline 92% of that workflow. So if you're looking for savings and you're looking for proving ROI with stakeholders and internally as well, and kind of gauging usage, this is really a tool that can help open that up for you. So opens the door. Again, it takes about 4 minutes to get a document into an application, read through things, assess it. This goes 40 seconds, puts it in the application across any tool, could be any email. It highlights the critical points, it pulls out the title, what's happening in that document, and then it gives you the control and the power to file it. So we still want that human element. We're not here to take people's jobs. It is important to confirm and verify data. It is crucial to say, yes, this is accurate, we can put it in the system. Because if you don't have that verification piece, you're just relying on a tool, and that tool could be wrong. So giving that human power to the paralegals and to the team saying, yep, this is good to go, we're filing, it just gives you that extra sense of trust. Available on all plans. So this is not limited to professional or enterprise. It is available for everyone. And you purchase bundles. So you say, hey, I foresee I'm going to import 1,000 documents this year. We have bundles for sale. You can chat to your CSM. You buy that bundle, and then for every document upload, it just takes 1 credit off of that bundle. So very easy to navigate. Meg, I think I'll stop sharing. Why don't you walk us through the demo of the feature? And then please, if anyone has any questions, pop them in the chat. I'll keep an eye on things, and I'll chat and answer as we go. But let me stop share. And Meg, I'll hand it over to you.
Okay. All right, you should be seeing my screen.
I see you.
Oh,
Not your screen.
okay. Let me try again. Okay.
Perfect. Yes, I see your
All
screen.
right, great.
Great.
I think I might have shared initially too early. So familiar site, we're looking here at the Athennian dashboard. But one added piece is going to be this Athennian AI here over on the side. So this is going to be a great tool anytime you have documents to upload. That could be anything from onboarding a new client, you need to upload their existing minute book documents. If you've had a merger, you're acquiring other companies and you need to start bringing those companies into your database, Centralize is going to be really, really effective for you. So all I would do is click into the skill that I would like to use. And you can see I've got a couple of documents here that I do need to file. This was uploaded earlier. It is a cover sheet incorporation application. It has found our entity. It has even found the minute book here that it wants to file in, the folder governing documents. It's named this certificate of incorporation, and it's got our effective date here from this filing date that you can see right here on this registration date. And then it's even created for us the summary. This is a certificate of corporation for 1241317 BC Ltd, issued by British Columbia. It certifies that the entity was incorporated under the British Corporations Act, the Business Corporations Act on February 19th, 2020. Now we're also going to bring in a couple of more documents, and then we're going to file these. So there's a few ways that you can upload documents. You can do a direct upload from your computer, or you can send an email. So I'm going to upload some documents from my folder here, but I'm going to have Charlay send us an email as well so that we can get an idea of the 2 different ways that those things come through.
Yeah. And before I send the email as well, Meg, I'll be doing this on the back end, but Meg, copy and paste that email for me in Slack. The power of this as a team is when you sign up with Athennian AI or you get access to this, you will get a unique email that allows your email to connect to the Athennian AI centralized tool. Now, not everyone in your team can access centralized. You have the ability to limit who sees what based on the user and editing that user. So Meg is going to send me that email and we're going to have, a protocol internally saying, this is the email. Please email any confirmed documents to the team. Don't just email left, right, and center. And then that email is going to go straight into Athennian Centralized. So while Megan shows you how everything is filing and all of that, I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to send an email to Athennian AI. It's actually going to confirm it and say, hey, we're confirming receipt. You've sent the following documents, and it's going to show up in this environment. So I'll do that. Meg, you carry on with the demo, and then I'll give you a thumbs up once it's done.
Okay, great. So we've brought in some share certificates as well. So now I want to look at, so these are the documents that we just uploaded. Here it says a minute ago. And so you can see it's determining what is the entity that this needs to be filed in. It's reading here from the top, and it is selected registers and ledgers. So for this one, this is a share certificate. So I can easily just come in and say, actually, it did select the right folder because we don't have a share certificate folder here. I can also even create a new folder once I realize that. And select where to file that. So we have our effective date from down at the bottom, January 1st, 2020, and the summary that this share certificate certifies that Lena Smith is the shareholder. So I'll file that. We'll file our governing documents cover sheet, and I'm just going to go through these one by one. Here we have a different entity, ABZ Corp, still an article of incorporation, so it's pulled over that name. We will file.
Perfect. And there's some questions coming in as well, Meg. Sorry,
okay.
Before you move on. David saying, is the AI tool only for corporate docs, or can we use this for land registration documents, other documents associated with a specific entity? And David, the answer is, this works for PDF, JPEG, and PNG documents of any sort. They could be handwritten, they can be in another language. We accommodate over 25 languages, I believe. And so what it will do is it will take that language or that handwritten document, it will scan it, and it will give you an overview with the description of what is happening. And again, you have the control to file. So it works across multiple teams and scenarios, multiple different kind of ages and stages of documents as well. We've tested it with a couple of handwritten docs, and I don't know, Meg, if you have them on hand, but we have some handwritten marriage certificates that we pulled up. It was able to assess everything and what was happening. And I've just emailed a document as well, which is a director register. So Meg, why don't we show them the handwritten one? And then also the document that I've just sent through, you'll see in the background it's being processed with the email. But that's the answer to all of that, Dave.
Yeah. Yes. And the only thing I wanted to point out here is now that I've created that certificates folder, the AI picked up on that for the additional certificates that we brought in. So I can file that, and then let's close and take a look at the director register. So this is you do have to have the entity in the environment. And it looks like I spelled that wrong when I was bringing that over. And so that's why I didn't identify. But here we have a director register. It's filing that under registers and ledgers. And I will also bring in a handwritten document for you.
And while that's going as well, we had two questions. So one was, can you upload multiple documents? And you can. The second was, will centralize identify duplicate documents if the document has already been filed into the minute book? Not yet. So this is where you need to make sure that what you have in the minute book is good to go. And that's why we allow you to create an entity, but also see the folders and files of that entity within this whole framework. So you know if there is a document in there, you don't have to go in and file. Keep in mind, this works on upload. So as you upload the document in the system, make sure your team knows that everything is good before you send that through. If you want to kind of limit who has access to Athennian AI's email just in the beginning while you build up processes and stuff within your team, you can as well. But the whole intention behind this is collaboration. So as you can see here, Meg has that marriage register. This is handwritten. It's very difficult to read, but it has done its due diligence in pulling everything up. So I hope that answers your question. Keep them coming, Meg. Back to you. Yeah, this looks great.
Yep. So what we have here, it's got this. This is a handwritten marriage certificate. It's pulled the date. I'm going to be honest. I'm not even sure where it pulled this date from. As I, as a human, look and read this document. But it's got our May 5th, 1943 effective date. It summarizes the marriage registration document recording the marriage of Frederick Luzanne and Phyllis Anderson. That it was filed in Dartmouth on May 10th, 1943. So we've got a couple of other, I have a hand filled out W-9 form as well with that 10/1/2018 and this document is an IRS W-9 form used when collecting and identifying information about the taxpayer. Now, one of the benefits is these descriptions will appear in your minute book. So it's giving you a description. And then if we do actually go into one of the minute books where we have filed some information, I can simply click into that entity and go down and look at the minute book. We can see those 2 share certificates that we filed under the certificates with their dates, and I can click into those. And if I go into the actual folder here for share certificates, it will show me that detailed summary as well. And I'll look at that for another entity that we uploaded.
Yeah, and another thing I just want to point out too for the teams is all these documents, you'll notice they have statuses on them. So as you'll see, the description has been added there too, like Meg is saying. But any kind of information that comes into the application will have that status, whether it's processing, whether there's an error, whether it has been filed. You can go in and filter and audit the amount of documents that have been filed successfully versus the ones that are pending. So you can play around with that as well and export that too. And everything correlates with that minute book, like Megan says, with those notes that go on. You can also change information if it's inaccurate right there at that point in time, which is really, really powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we can see it's keeping record of all of the documents that we filed, documents that I have ready for review, and calculating your time saved here.
Yeah, hours saved too. So this is wonderful, and we're very excited. And you'll see I emailed through that doc as well. I got an email saying, hey, we've received it, but there's something up with the doc and the entity name, so there's an error. Sorry, my voice. But with the clients that managed to win one of the 5 spots of the raffle, please give us your feedback. We would love to know what else you want within this. As you'll notice in the dashboard, it says Athenian AI Centralized Beta. There are other skills we would like to build. So eventually we want to get to the place where it can read the document, tell you what transactions to take into account, put into the application, and actually do a full assistant almost workflow for you and your team, kind of aiding you in those processes and just making the really mundane, very time constraining tasks easy and efficient. So thank you, Megan. I appreciate this. This is an excellent demo. We're very excited. I'll share my screen again. And again, keep those questions coming. We are more than happy to help answer. And I don't know where my screen has gone. Let's do this. Perfect. And Zoom. Sorry, I have so many tabs on open. It's scary. All right. Can everyone see Athenian AI Centralized? Can I get a thumbs up, Meg?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, great. I'll also open the chat just to make sure I keep an eye on that too. Can this information be linked to a person as well or only to an entity? Great question. It can be linked to a person in terms of the shareholders and the information that is pulled off the document. But right now you would never file a document on a person record. So we want to keep things structured, in line and controlled. We would file in the minute book. Can we use the AI tool for tracking certain dates or inconsistencies in standard documents? Thinking if this can be expanded beyond corporate documents. Excellent question and great use case. This is feedback that we need as well, right? This is how you guys are thinking of using it. So please, if you're interested, sit with our team as well and let us know. Right now, we can't track those areas. This is just the beginning. Again, the purpose is to centralize the information and to streamline, but for other core skills, that might be a really big need. So the more you use this and the more you kind of get used to it, again, it's all by assumed usage. So you pay for what you use ahead of time. Give us that feedback. Maybe we can expand that. And then we've also got, does AI only work for uploading documents to the virtual minute books, or does it help to enter data into the entity itself, such as creating share transactions, securities tabs, etc.? That is phase 2. Great question, Marilyn. We already have visions for that and a goal for that. This is the start. We're getting the information in, building that habit, making it consistent. And then hopefully as we scale this tool with different skills, we're going to be able to give you the opportunity to add information as well and confirm it too, right? Because we know data doesn't just live in documents, but again, it comes from that document. So getting it at the start of that workflow and then building out as we go. And then April says, can summary only users see the document descriptions in the minute book? Great question, April. They might be able to. We'll need to test that out. I don't think we've had a look, but I can check in with our product team and see. I'm curious, is this something that you would not want or something that you do want? And how those workflows work today? Because today, it would just follow through with whatever role permissions we have when someone signs in and sees. Again, you can lock down the minute book if you don't want your read-only users to see them, if you do extend that custom role. So could be something we could look at too. But if you're ever worried about locking down the minute book or documents, explore custom roles with your team, chat to your CSM. You can lock those users that are read only to not see that information. Maybe they only get access to documents or something like that. So that's a use case as well. All right. So we did the demo. Is everyone ready? We're going to be doing the QR code. I hope there's still a lot of people on here. We'll be announcing the winner on Friday. Please go ahead. I'll give everyone just a minute. Scan the QR code, put in your name, your email, and then just tell us why this would help your team. That's going to go through into a raffle bucket. We will pick 5 winners. So the faster you enter in, the sooner you will hear back. And then you get 350 Athenian AI credits. We just turn it on for you. You can use it, play around with it. And it is valid for 1 month after activation. So I'll give you a couple of seconds, and I can throw it up again afterwards as well, but I'll give everyone a minute just to try their luck. All right. And if you guys already are good to go, just maybe send me a little thumbs up so I don't wait too long, but I want to make sure you all get your opportunity to sign up for it. Thumbs up when you're done. Perfect. Thanks, Daisy.
And Charlotte, I apologies if I missed us answer this, but there's also a question about summary only users being able to see the descriptions in the minute book.
Oh yeah, so the notes that we add, whatever summary only users see today in the minute book, they would see that as well with notes. So we'll test it out. It's actually a great question. I didn't think of that. So I'll test it out and have a look and see, and then we can follow up, make sure that that person gets the answer too. We'll tell the team as well, I guess. I'd be curious what people want. Do they want summary only users to see notes? Do they not want them to see notes? Like, is there ever a case where it would be helpful to see? Because what we also do with the custom roles is we can actually lock down entity notes on the entity overview from a certain role. So if you have an edit user role or a read-only user role, and let's say you create, I don't know, a client custom role, and they can come in and read only certain sections, you can lock down entity notes as well. So I'd be curious what would kind of follow through with documents, but we can follow up. Cool, got lots of thumbs up. I will head on out and give a couple of seconds. We can send this again if anyone has not signed up, but please feel free to sign up. It is a free-for-all, no catch. All right, what's coming soon? So very, very exciting news. I had touched on this a little earlier, but Minutebook Secure Share, and this goes through to the question that was asked about folders and sharing information. On the 25th of June, our product team will be turning on Minutebook Secure Share for every single package. It is not an extra, it's not an upsell, it is all on the package. You don't have to purchase anything. It is available for you and your team to use. More training will be coming, so keep that in mind. We'll give you a good feature overview with how it interacts with different user roles. But ultimately, what you'll be able to do is you'll go into the minute book, you'll have a little action button, you'll be able to say share, and you can select which folders or documents you want to share via an emailed link to either an external user or someone else that maybe works at your company. And they'll get that email, they'll get prompted to sign in, they'll just see one entity, the name of the entity, and then they'll be taken straight into that entity's minute book to only the documents or the folders that have been shared with them. Now, within this, you can set up teams of individuals that have access. So thinking about items like, let's say you're working with a bank and you're busy opening up a bunch of bank accounts and you want to give very specific documents access, or people access to specific documents within the team, you can set that up. You can name the team, you can control how long they have access to these documents, you can revoke access, you can add in an expiry link similar to Google Drive, and you can also track everything. So there is an audit trail. You'll be able to see every document that person has access to, how long they've had access to it, and you can keep track of it in that audit trail as well. Very secure. Users and admins will be able to share these documents. So again, you can see what you're doing, you can manage that access, you have complete control, but instead of having to give them access to Athenian and set up different access groups and entity groups and people groups, just share the document. So this would be wonderful for our law firms in that kind of scenario where they want to have just access to something for a certain amount of time and that's it. Tony is asking, can we give them right to work in this entity? What do you mean by that, Tony? Do you mean like if you're giving them access to Athenian to work in that entity with just that, does it share the document as at or live? Okay, perfect, great. It shares the document as at within that minute book. So if that document gets deleted, it gets deleted from their access, right? We're not editing documents in minute books. Those are the documents that are a source of truth. So you kind of want to follow through with that trend and make sure that what you're sharing is golden. We integrate with Google Drive though. So if ever there is a document in an entity in the document section, like an Excel sheet that you want to collaborate on live, just have a Microsoft Office account. Those edits will apply in that document section, right? So documents, kind of collaboration space, minute book, final space. And then Tony, can you give them the right to work in this entity? You can give them the right to work in this entity, but that would not apply to minute book secure share. It would apply to that kind of access group concept where you give them access to the entity with a certain role and they do their thing in there. We're looking for the opposite, the ability to secure a particular folder of documents within the minute book, but from all but a few users. Got it, Susan. So yes, in that case, and we have heard that a lot. In that case, I'm sure there is a way we can figure this out between custom roles, secure share, and access. It's not going to be difficult to find that kind of fine line with who should see documents or the minute book. But for your use case, I know that feedback has been given and we are looking at things like that. We're looking at how it will impact all clients, how it works with access today. So we'll keep it in mind. I'll let my product team know as well. And if anything comes up that fits that specifically, we will let you know. We're working closely with external law firms, so it would avoid a step for us if by me sharing the paralegal in the firm can do the updating. Got it. So you're thinking of as you share it, they just update and then that goes back in. More of a collaboration workflow, I understand. I will give product that feedback as well. And Susan, you're welcome. All right, so this is available. We'll let you all know 25th. Keep your calendars marked for that. CSMs will be able to help you out if you have any questions. Can clients upload documents themselves? They can if you give them access to Athenian, to the document folder. So you can give them that access piece. When you share a document or you share a folder, you're not giving them the ability to edit or manipulate that. They can just read the document for now, but keep the feedback coming. All right, next up, what's the time? 46, great, we're doing great. Athenian chart upgrades. This is very exciting. Now we have been working closely with a few clients to make sure charts are kind of improved and built with the way that clients are going to be using them. So real life scenarios. In July, dates to be confirmed. I believe it's going to be the first week. I'll confirm it as soon as we have it. We are going to be launching upgrades to our professional and enterprise packages for charts. You are going to be able to zoom in and zoom out at any point in time, just using your scroller mouse. You can extend entity relationships on a per entity basis. So thinking of level navigation, a parent entity with child subsidiaries. We have run into this issue a lot with our big clients, our private equity clients and law firms that have a lot of clients and a lot of ownership structures. It is very difficult when you open the structure chart section of Athenian and just see this massive chart of all these connections. We've gone the other way around. And so now you can kind of expand child relationships as you're looking at the ownership structure, which is huge. It's going to make things very easy to navigate. So that's going to be included in there. We can also control the data that's shown in chart boxes. Right now in the filters, you see entity details show or hide. In this instance, you're going to say show entity details, but I only want to see the tax number. I only want to see the company group. We've also expanded it to custom fields. So if you are a private equity client, or if you are in funds and project management and you have FATCA classifications or EIN numbers or specific, very pertinent information to entities that you need to see, like fund names, project names, you can add that to your charts and expose just that information. So when you're looking at a chart that's custom, it will show you exactly what you need to see on that custom field level. New format, we will be able to export our charts to Excel. So cap table, ownership structures, we can now export it into Excel format, and you can apply all of that information into an Excel sheet. The last thing we're doing, which is also very exciting, is you will be able to generate charts in people. So today we can generate charts in entities. It shows you that entity with the parent and all the people beneath. We're going to flip that and we're going to give you the person perspective with all the entities. All the same functionality will follow through to people. You can customize, edit, filter, etc. But you're just building a people chart instead of an entity chart. Give you the exact accurate data. It'll connect all your affiliations and securities, but play on a different view of the same information. So it's going to allow you to further customize. We're very excited. Again, professional enterprise, early July. So keep in mind, minute book sharing will come 25th, which is next Tuesday. And then we're going to be seeing this early July, and the CSMs will have everything they need to help you with the appropriate plans as well. So I'll pause there. Megan, what do you think? I didn't ask you about minute book secure share, but I know you're jazzed about this one. So
Yes.
any comments?
Yes, this one is exciting. This is, I would probably say on the, I work with our existing customers as well as onboarding customers. And this is a question that we get often, is how can I, what if I only want the jurisdiction on the chart? Or what if I only need, the registration number? What if I just need this one piece of information? So having been able to tell people over the last couple of weeks that this is actually something that we've committed to build in this half, has been really, really impactful. It really is going to let you save your different chart filters for, I know that Barclays Bank maybe has a different standard than other banks when you're doing KYC, or if you need to produce a chart for someone for a board meeting, that might need a lot less information than a chart that a tax team is going to need or a legal team is going to need.
Yeah.
So really, really lets you have that flexibility. And the more that we can do with creating charts inside our tool, it's very exciting.
Yeah, say goodbye to Visio and goodbye to PowerPoint.
Yes. We've got
Knock
a
on wood.
couple, yeah, we've got a
Um,
couple of questions in the chat
yes, we
too.
do.
One about, so one's asking, well, one was back on secure
Minute book.
share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Megan, yeah,
S-
I read that. I read that one.
okay.
Megan, live minute book access for clients, they would need an Athenian account, correct? So how it works, Megan, and we can demo this for you. When you share it with someone, they don't need an Athenian account. That goes through to their email and invites them to sign into Athenian. So they'll sign in, they'll have access to it, but only for the amount of time you've given them access to that entity and that minute book. They won't see anything else. So it's hard to explain. I will send through a video very soon. I've been making short cheat sheets for clients, just with the feature, what's coming, what it looks like. So keep a lookout for that this week, because I will send that through for you so you get a good understanding of how it works. And then we will also give you the view of access. So what is it going to look like managing that access? How do you revoke it for clients? But it isn't, you don't have to create an account for them at all. So I hope that answers that one. And then, can entities that are not managed by us, company shareholder, be added to a chart? They absolutely can. There just needs to be a way in which we put that in. So whether that be a custom field saying not managed by firm, and that kind of gets ticked off and that shows up on that chart, but the ownership still exists in there, that could be something that you do. There are ways in which we can get that kind of display in view of things. So work with your CSM. I'd be curious, reach out to them, and then they can also let us know, and we can find exactly what you need for that use case. And then Rika, will we be able to see only the voting percentages? Megan, no worries. Rika, you have thrown me off track. Megan.
Yes. So
Yes.
this actually, this already exists where within a chart you can toggle on and off the capital classes. When capital classes are off, it's only showing you ownership percentages. When
Right,
capital classes are on, it's showing you which of those ownership are voting versus non-voting.
right, right. Perfect. Thank you, Meg. Sorry,
Mhm.
Rika. I know that it was just you caught me off guard. But but the percentage is wrong. Let's chat to your CSM and see. Someone else is saying as well, with the chart upgrades, we'll be able to see the number of shares for shareholders rather than the percentages. Let me check. I'm not sure about that. Enrica, let me follow up with you, or your CSM follow up with you, and then we can figure that one out because it should not be wrong. Yes, we'll follow up on that one. And Christine, I hope that answers your question. Shareholders rather than percentages, I will check, and then we'll confirm for you. And thank you, Megan. All right, so looking at the value this will bring, we've kind of already run through this, but increased data visibility, faster decision-making, predictable costs. That's what we want to drive through. So I won't harp on this too long, but ultimately this is the value we want to bring for you and your team. And we're very, very excited because we really want you to feel that what is available is not kind of put behind just paying more. We want to give you that value with something that you can budget and predict. And we also want to give your team the visibility. We know it's a difficult space to work in. There is always a lot happening, a lot of transactions, a lot of things coming at you. So the easier we can make it for you, the happier that makes our team, and the better it makes our product as well. But next news, upcoming updates. So I said the 25th of June. Just a quick little note, we will be skipping the July webinar, the summer break. So I know we had one scheduled. Just because of holidays, because of conferences, our team was going to Florida. We're going to be pausing that one. Our next up webinar will be on the 6th of August. So regular schedule as follows. We will be having that. Our second half of the year starts. So there'll be a lot of exciting things in there. So keep an eye out for that. If you guys are interested in joining, mark your calendars, 6th of August. We'll send out invites for you as well. And then Q&A. So I'm actually curious, please put stuff in the chats. What are you guys most excited for? Is there anything you would like us to bring into the next webinar that maybe we haven't included so far? Is there something you feel is missing? Do you feel like you are getting enough insights into these features? We love your feedback. We really take it to heart and we do kind of implement it for every webinar as we go, demos included. But curious to hear your thoughts. Otherwise, thank you for joining. And I'll put up that QR code quickly again if you guys want to scan it. We'll announce the winners on Friday, but we'll give everyone a couple of minutes. If there are any questions, I'll answer. Other than that, I hope you have a fantastic day. Courtney says, will there ever be an option to be able to mass delete entities or people? Great question, Courtney. I will look into that actually. In that case, if you're mass deleting people and entities, would that be like if you dissolved a company group? Or I'd be curious how often something like that would happen and why that would be needed. So let me know as well, because that's a very interesting thing to bring up. You're welcome, Renee. Yeah, lots of exciting things. We're very excited. We hope you enjoyed the webinar. Any other questions? Could we have status updates on the previously announced product updates at the beginning of these webinars, or is the intention that our CSM will do so? Got it, Megan. So exactly, your CSM will give you updates. We give you high level visibility, excitement, all of that. And then your CSM is the one that will give you those updates. So make sure that they're in touch with you. They should be updating you on a regular basis. Also, message our support team. We're always here to help. So yeah, we'll make sure you have what you need. Cool. All right. Thank you, everyone. Good luck for the winners of the draw. We'll announce on Friday. We'll send you an email. We appreciate your time. And as always, we will see you in the next.